in Derrida's philosophy, Jacques Derrida, the concept of aporia is given in some places, and in some places it's not. It's not a concept that people always go to, but it's a concept I think is interesting to look to think about within his philosophy. Um, Derrida's philosophy of deconstruction is a pretty important and very difficult kind of philosophy. You know, he has books like the books he's written are Speech and Phenomena, which has included by Northwestern University Press the essay Difference in it. Um, writing indifference of grammatology, dissemination, and many others. But those few I mentioned are like the backbone of his deconstructionist philosophy. And basically, what that whole thing is, the way I think deconstruction can be understood as um, a philosophy of aporia. And in this video, I want to kind of explain a little bit about the aporia. It's a very brief thing. It's a very brief thing that I want to discuss, and there's probably very much better explanations of how this applies to his philosophy better than what I can do. Um, but aporia is, you know, within philosophy, it pretty much means that it means puzzlement, I guess. It means being being just puzzled with things. Um, and if you understand his philosophy of deconstruction, you can understand how it's a philosophy that has somewhat of a goal of aporia. Not really any philosophy has the goal of aporia except for this one, because deconstruction, even though Derrida doesn't want to refer to it as a method, it really is a method. Um, it's about deconstructing in binary conceptual opposites. It's about decentering philosophy. Logocentric philosophy or logocentrism in philosophy is centering of philosophy on one certain concepts or a few certain concepts. It's centering. Deconstruction aims to decenter philosophy. To decenter it away from, decenter it away from being focused on one few concepts, and recognize that everything is kind of connected in the way of trace. I just did a video where I talk about trace, and trace basically is, we have a sign or a concept. The trace of any sign or concept is what the sign differs with, or what the sign is not. So, like if if I'm going to be a dualist in the philosophy of mind, I'm not a monist. The trace that is exposed from deconstructing opposites, conceptual opposites, is to reveal the trace, and to deconstruct dualism is to reveal monism or physicalism, because dualism is not that. Um, you know, the opposites that people like dualists argue with monists. And it's like been one of the biggest problems in philosophy for so long, and they just argue back and forth about which one is more correct. And the truth is, they're both connected. They're both connected in very strong ways, and to deconstruct both of those philosophies is to expose the traces that each other that both have, and to recognize that they're both connected, strongly. Um, but anyway, aporia, being philosophically puzzled or having puzzlement, is a bit of the goal of deconstruction, because we don't want centering of philosophy, we don't want ontology, we don't want to have a Platonic hierarchy of forms, because metaphysics of presence is the philosophy of, or it's a philosophy that has a certain ontology and explains existence to be in a certain way. Has how Hegel has his absolute. Plato has his forms. Leibniz had his monads, and so on and so on. They explain existence to be in a certain way, or to have tropes or properties and such. That even those apply. The universals apply as well. It's just explaining existence to be in a certain way. It's metaphysics and explaining existence to be in this or that way. So we don't have in this philosophy we have no true truth. We have no real truth. We have no true meaning. We have no true, you know, we have no real or true anything. We just have this reversing back and forth, marginalizing this. We deconstruct one concept and we do that back and forth, and that's just what it is. That's what philosophy is after deconstruction. It's just it's just the reversal back and forth, the marginalizing back and forth, and that's really it. So that's that. I think of Aporia as the goal of deconstructionist philosophy, because it's just about not having any real theory, not besides deconstruction, not really having any true existence or anything. It's just the back and forthness, I guess, if you want to call it that. This has been a very brief and might I say not the best explanation of Derrida's philosophy, but I think I'm getting a little better. So if you think I've done something, if you think I've fudged something or done something incorrect, please comment. Also, if you have a question, comment there. Derrida's philosophy is very difficult. I don't think of there being any experts of Derrida's philosophy. You have people who, we have like the professional philosophers who are renowned for their writings about Derrida, like I think about Neil Lucy and Christopher Norris and people like that, who are probably the highest in their comprehension, but I don't think they have mastery, because it's just so so difficult and so multi-layered and so thick and so multifaceted. It's just kind of, I don't know. Maybe there are masters of it, but I've read a lot of his work. And I have a decent understanding, but I don't have the best one. So, and I if you want to understand his philosophy, I encourage you to search YouTube for other videos, like Chad African. He has some videos about Derrida's philosophy. Just search YouTube for that. I have a playlist which has some other videos about his philosophy, but maybe my explaining of it doesn't work for you. So search around and find somebody, because if you watch enough, you will find somebody that will make it click for you. So thank you.